Hi friends, welcome to today's video. Stick around and see how I turned my backyard into this beautiful midsummer magical oasis using Linkind's solar lights. We're just gonna jump right in here, and as you can see, I am starting off by cleaning in between the pavers before I go in with the pressure washer. Now you guys, this tool is so handy. It is a very simple tool, but it is so efficient. Now as you can see here on the right, I have my umbrella still out, and you guys, it's the first time because last season I did not store it away. I was so sick of putting these tiles one by one in the storage, and they weigh 25 kilograms each, and I had to first remove them so I can remove the cross stand of the umbrella, and then I had to pick them up again, so I had to move them twice, you guys. So this year, or last year actually, I thought I would just keep it out. I did cover it with some plastic, but it is so much easier. So I'm going to be cleaning around it, and I'm not going to be removing it to clean underneath it. And here I am scraping off all the moss that's been accumulating here on these raised planters that I have. And I think these planters, they have looked better, so I'm thinking of painting them, and I'm not too sure what color, because I was thinking maybe a lighter color, maybe even white, to brighten up the space. But white with this moss growing is gonna look even worse. So I might think of a darker color, like the color of my fence is like this really dark color. So leave me a comment down below what you think I should do, a lighter color or a darker color. And here you see the moss stain. I called it a stain because I cannot scrape this off. So yeah, that is why I want to paint this. Here on the left of me, you see some foxgloves growing, and they were seeded by the one that I had last year here that died. Now it is too late for me to repot it now, so I'm gonna wait until fall to repot it and see if it can reseed itself and keep coming every year. Now that I'm done, I'm gonna be putting everything back and let the pavers air dry. Now, usually I also clean my windows at this point, but I'm going to be doing that on another day and off camera. But the day is really moving on really fast. I wanted to get as much done as I could today. For me, every year the highlight of the summer season is to go out and buy annuals, and I did buy a bunch this year as well, and I have no idea why, because these actually were from last year and I cannot believe that they came back, and they have been blooming so pretty, and I think I need to prune them so that they can keep growing throughout the summer season. But you guys, I didn't have to fill this pot with anything this year. It was just good as it is, and it also had this one here on the back, and this one is it's a bit small, but I think it's still well, it's still growing because it was even smaller than this. But yeah, I think given it time, it will come. And I also had something else here. I think it was a verbena, but yeah, this one is overgrowing it, so it doesn't get a chance to grow really. Maybe I should push this aside like this, giving it a little bit of room. But anyway, I love how this pot is looking. Now, there was a time that I felt I had to do a different setup like every year, but ever since I did a makeover on these small tables, these side tables here, I have been loving them here, and I thought, you know what? If I like it, why do I need to change it up every time? So I do not feel the urge to change up this setup here. I like these two tables here with plants on them. Now, like I said, I did not have to buy a lot of annuals this year, and look at this million bells from last year. I cannot believe that it came back so strong. Our winters aren't that cold anymore, so what I try to do is leave the annuals until spring. Usually I just toss them out, but I'm gonna leave them and see if they come back, and if they do like this, I do not have to toss them out. Also, these dianthus, I've had them for a couple of years now, and I did have them in previous years, but they never survived, and I do not know why, but this is like the first time that I've had them for multiple years. Look at how pretty that they are. I do think that I have to prune them early spring, so I'm gonna try to do that next year to see if they will be fuller than this, but I am really loving how they look. Now, even though a lot of my annuals did survive the winter this year, it is still time for a trip to my favorite garden center. Now, why, you ask? Well, I do have a few hanging pots that I need to fill up, and most of the annuals that survived were just regular plants and no hanging plants. So I am going to look to see what they got. Yes, I know I came for hanging plants, but of course I cannot leave without looking at all the beautiful plants that they got. And I stumbled upon these evergreens, you guys, and I love pine trees. I wish I had space to grow a big one in my yard, but these smaller ones, I think I can keep them in a pot and contain their size. So I did pick up two of them. Now, I love roses. I have four in my backyard, and I will share that with you in maybe later this video or in a different video. But as you can see, they had a bunch here, and then I saw these yellow ones, you guys, and I totally fell in love with them. And this is actually a climber, this Apollo. And to be honest, I have no idea where to put this, but I thought the yellow, it is so pretty, and as a climbing rose I thought it would look amazing in my privacy fence. So I decided to pick it up, and I will show you where I'm going to plant this. And of course, this trip was a success, and I am packing up my car here now. Not everything is mine, some are my mom's as well. But I have to say, I did pick up more plants that I could handle. These are the plants that I got, well, a few of them at least. And yes, I'm guilty, I also picked up non-hanging plants. And I have to figure out where I'm going to be putting all the plants. But let's get started on planting them so I can finish decorating my backyard for the summer. did decide to go with a more circular setup for these chairs here because I think this is so much more cozier and personal than to have them like really straight across each other. But this is, I think, the best setup for me, and I really love how this looks. Now I did decide also to roll back these big white planters here because I think that they look much better here and that I would enjoy them much more. And to be honest, also those purple flowers in the container on the right, the ones that made it through the winter, you guys, they smell so good. So when I sit out here, the scent is so nice. These thrifted planters are the perfect pieces to go here, and I think they cleaned up really well, so I am not planning on doing anything to them for now. I like to switch up the space a little bit, but this rose here on the left is the only constant thing in this space, and I'm going to keep it like that. If you know me by now, you know I like to switch out my cushion covers. Now I wanted to go with the pink ones for this year, but you guys, I had a little washer accident because it turned out that they shrunk in the wash, so I cannot use them anymore. So I am on the lookout for some other fabric to create some new ones, but for now I'm going to go with these green ones. Now I want to show you guys, look at this hole here, and I think that this is a mole hole because I've noticed some piles of dirt or soil, and I do not know what to do. I do not want to get rid of them because it's their habitat as well, and well, I just don't know what to do because I do not want my pavers to sink. But let me know down in the comments, what do you do if you see that there are moles running around in your garden. Look at the temperature. It is a little over 30 degrees Celsius, and you guys, it is hot out here. Luckily the sun isn't shining right now. It did shine earlier, but it is cooler without the sun. But anyway, I have this thermometer, and it was a little DIY that I made. I had this piece of wood and I just screwed it down on this piece of wood, and I am going to be hanging it up here so that I know how hot it is or cold it is when I'm outside. Give a big shout out to my friends at Linkind for sponsoring today's video, because with their help I'm going to be elevating this space to a whole different level using their RGB solar lights, so stay tuned. I wanted to bring some color into my outdoor spaces this year, and then I remembered I had these lanterns and I've had these for a while now, and I thought I was over them, but it turned out I was over the silver. So I thought, why not give them a new coat of paint? And these lanterns, they look so amazing still. So I went to the hardware store and I got some yellow spray paint and I painted them, and I'm going to be using these in my backyard and my front patio. So stay tuned to see where I'm going to be placing all of them. And I'm going to placing the first one right here, and I love the pop of yellow in this area. And you guys, a coat of spray paint goes a long way. It just transformed this lantern and this space into this bright summer decor. So like I said, I'm gonna show you now how I'm going to light up this space using the Linkind solar lights. So these are the new solar lights, and these are the solar pathway lights. And you guys, I am so happy because, like I said, this one is a upgrade. They are the same as the one that I installed last year, only these are RGB, so they change color, and I am so loving that. I can bring more ambiance to my backyard. And this is how they are packed. They come in a pack of 8, 6 here on top, and then there are 2 more here underneath. Let me take that out. And these are the other 2. And you can, let me turn it on. You can see the different colors. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited to see how these light up in the evening. And there's a little manual with it, because you have to first let these charge for 2 whole days in the full sun. That's the best way to keep them charged. And yeah, it's basically install them where you want. I did mention this last year as well. They come also with these spikes. So these are the spikes, and you can select different heights, as you can see, by using only the ground spike, but there's a piece within in between, and there's 2 pieces in between, so you can change the different heights that you want. But yeah, I'm gonna see which height I want, because I think I'm gonna do the same as last year. I do want to see them raised from my planter. So let me show you how I'm going to be installing these. While I'm putting these together, I want to mention that Linkind has a Prime Day sale going on as of today, and it runs through July 11th. They have 20% off their solar lights, so make sure you go and check them out. I will leave the link of the product in my description box below. I am checking here if the height is good, and then I remembered I already did this last year, so I'm not going to be doing that again. You're going to see later where I'm going to be putting them this year. Now you guys, I am so happy with these solar lights. I wasn't a big fan until Linkind introduced me to their products, and I can highly recommend these. They are large and they are so pretty and so bright. They collect a lot of sun and they stay on all night, and that is something I really love. And to be honest, I do store these away for the fall and the winter season, so that might help prolong their life. But maybe you can leave them out if you want, but I just like to store all my summer items for the fall and winter season. So I thought this year I would use them in my planters to give that extra ambiance, and since these are RGB, they are gonna give this magical glow that you're gonna see in a minute. After I've placed them where I want them, I'm gonna show you how they look like, and I'm gonna give you a shot of what they look like with just warm white, and of course with the magical RGB lights. And with that being said, that brings this video to a conclusion. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you could have gotten something out of it. Now don't forget to check out Linkind. Again, I will link it in the description box below. So the offer only runs July 8th through 11th, so make sure you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in my next one. Bye!